There you go. Okay, here we're all set. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. I'll just give a very brief overview of how the setup is, and so I mean, are you guys familiar with what MOS is and?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's great. So the setup is very simple. It's basically I have two branches and one WAN emulator in between, and behind the two branches there are two clients. So it's very it's like a linear kind of setup, like client, branch, WAN emulator, branch, and then client.
Right.
And on the two clients, I'm running LinFone.
IP phone.
Okay.
Yeah, the VoIP software.
Okay.
To simulate the voice calls.
Okay.
And on the WAN emulator, I'm doing the same thing. I'm using the Linux traffic conditioning thing to introduce loss and vary the MOS score.
Same as us.
Yeah, exactly same as yours. And the basic idea of this is that for any voice traffic, we can configure a forwarding profile which has a SLA profile, and in that we can configure what is the MOS score that is acceptable to us, and then based on that, and then how the network conditions are varying. If the MOS goes below that score, then we try to get the next best optimal path, and then we switch to that path.
Okay.
And that keeps on happening till the time you get a path which is of good quality.
Okay. So in your setup, you have two links.
I have two links. Yes. Yes. So between the two branches, I have two links. And
actually, do you mind help me just do a quick drawing on the level here? So you can stop sharing this one, and I'll give you my pad so you can actually do a quick whiteboard.
Sure.
So it also record. So yeah, you can just stop sharing on this one. Yeah, stop sharing on the share this from. I'll draw this up.
Okay. Sure. So basically, right. So you have. So this is branch 1.
Okay.
And then you have branch 2. And this is the traffic conditioning one. And here there is one client.
It's being recorded as well.
There is another client. And
yeah, basically, pre-sales solution, right? Demo solution.
Yeah. So this link is called and then this is B1, W2.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, stop sharing. Okay.
So I'll first go through over the configuration. So there are basically two steps that we need to do in order to enable the MOS code, the MOS-based path selection.
Yeah.
So the first thing will be to enable the feature itself. So in order to enable the feature, we basically need this stanza over here. That is, the real-time flow quality monitoring should be enabled. And the reporting interval by default is 2 seconds, but it can vary. I mean, it can, depending upon the need, it can go up. But the minimum we have kept it as 2 seconds, and that is the default that is there. So once you configure this, basically we'll start recognizing the voice traffic. And currently, what we have support for about 200 odd codecs, but the only thing that is limiting here is that it recognizes only RTP and RTCP traffic, and based on that is what we calculate the MOS score and then get what link is better. And the other thing that needs to be there is the SLA profile.
This requires the two devices, both of them to be enabled.
Yes. So currently, so I'll explain. And from the configuration, from the SD-WAN configuration perspective, what we need is that we need to have the SLA profile over here, which has MOS core as the requirement. And then that SLA profile needs to be associated to the forwarding profile, and then you can have a rule which is defined over here. And currently it is matching RTP and RTCP traffic. Yeah, and right. So I mean, between the two branches where you want the path selection to happen, we need to enable over there because and we need to enable symmetric forwarding between the two branches. Yeah. And then basically wherever the source of the traffic is, that will take into effect, and accordingly over there the path selection will occur. Okay. So, so this one over here is the branch 2 client, and this one is the branch 1 client. Okay, and we can start the call. And the good thing about LinPhone is that it kind of gives you over here itself, like, you know, what is the call quality. So you come to know, like, you know, immediately, let's say if so if I introduce loss over there, then it will show you, you know, for a brief amount of time the quality went bad, and then it again comes back.
So it's got a MOS calculator built in with the
this one has, I mean, some quality of its own. So currently over here, like, you know, as you see, there is I mean, there are no parameters that I've configured, and
the LinPhone is freeware, or is it?
It's freeware, yeah. Cool. So we can here show log. So currently we see that let me restart the call. I don't think. Symmetric forwarding does not seem to be happening here. So let me restart the call. So currently, so currently if you see right now the session, the RTP session, right? If you look at it, it's going on B1W1 link. And now if I check the so this currently gives me like, what is the MOS score that I have recorded for a particular link and the kind of codec that is running on for that particular one. So you can see that the yeah. So that's what we have actually support for about 200 odd codecs. So we'll show exactly what codec it is running and on what link and what is the score for that codec on that link. And based on this, so if you like, we have the SLA profile here, right? We have defined that the MOS score needs to be 3.25. That is the minimum that we want. And we have another command. So here we'll show exactly like, what is the priority of each of those links. Okay, so if you're not, okay, so we can see that currently the RTP session is still going on this particular link. So let's introduce some.
That priority is a match to QS priority. The priority one, like
that is the forwarding profile.
Forwarding profile.
Yeah.
Forwarding class.
Yes. Yeah. So that also we can define in the configuration itself.
Sure.
Over here we define like, what are the priorities of the links that are available to us. So now if I'll put this here, right? So I'm introducing a loss of 20%, okay? And we can look at the, the link phones. So over there you should see a brief red and then it should go up again. It's not taking effect.
Right on the call is like two-way traffic flowing, right?
Yes. Yeah. So if you actually see, the call did move to the other link. Let me check what is the MOS score. Right. So actually, I don't know why we didn't see it in the lin phone. But if you look at this one, so initially we were at B1W and H1W1, right? The TXRX path.
Yeah.
And here we had that, the MOS score on that particular link was 4.2. But then we got a report that MOS score has dropped down to 2.06. And here you see that, the RTP session has moved to the other link, which is the better one, which is 4.2.
Yeah.
And if you look into the here, so you will see that, this particular link, based on that metric, it's now gone into SLA violation status.
So the link phone software detection seems to be broken, right?
I don't know. I mean, usually when I test, I always see it. It's a good thing. It probably means that it shifted too fast that for it to even detect that something bad happened. But yeah, I mean, through these outputs, we.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sure. So what is the anticipated switching time?
So currently we have set it to 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
So at a minimum, within 2 seconds, you should see a difference.
Okay.
And now the only thing is, again, depends upon how many links are there, and what is the state of each link. Till the time you get a good link, it might be more than 2 seconds.
Right.
Because what happens is that so we define priorities, right? So it will first go to priority 1 links, and if all the priority 1 links are SLA violated, then it goes to priority 2 links and so on and so forth. So
do we have the log to show
Logs.
You have the log. It must be
Right. So there are two logs that we have. Actually, yes, we do have logs. So, but that is another. So, okay, actually, the configuration. Okay, so there is a. So if you want to see that particular log, you need to enter this stanza. Right. So what this basically says is that so there are two kinds of logs that we have. One log is that if a path goes into SLA violation, we print out an alarm, and if we have this configuration in place, then it will print out a path violation log within analytics, saying that this particular session moved from this link priority to this link priority. And over here also, like, there are two ways that we can configure. So this event, it can either be priority change event or it can be an SLA violation event. So priority change event basically means that anytime we move from, let's say, priority 1 to priority 2 to priority 3 to priority 2, all those transitions will be recorded. And if we say SLA violation, then the only thing that will be tracked will be if it goes from some priority to SLA violation priority. So that way we can print out the logs over here and we can track that session. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the feature.
Cool.
Can you see some on the device?
Let me see on the analytics if it's there.
About on the version director,
I don't have a director in my system. Yeah, otherwise I would have shown through the GUI because that is much. I mean, that's how usually everybody will use. But yeah, in my setup, I don't have a director.
Next thing, actually, after this part, right? So next thing, we can log into our deployed real system. Actually, we do have that, so I can see it from the GUI.
Okay.
And yeah, we got out.
Sure. We can try it out.
So we can see it's logging from here, and it's the our password control. That's it. I love the sign zoom. It's really. Session so yeah, can you so basically if you can stop sharing, I'm going to share my desktop. So I'm actually just getting to Can you stop sharing?
I think
Door is stop.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, so that I'm actually it's that your. Oh, that was sorry, I confused myself. I did a capture. Your screen. Sorry, my screen. Okay, there you go. So I can pass you the control, or you can say from your time. So can you say the request control? View options. View options. Yeah. Request remote control. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, cool.
So
Between which two machines? Between which two devices?
So do you have like any?
So no, actually, yeah, we don't have any MOS policy set up right now. So, but yeah, we do have links. It's between Beijing and Shanghai. So it is you can see that no, this is a template. But if you go to device, actually, yeah, BIH BJ should be branch 3.
Go to monitors. Go to monitors. Monitors.
It's like if you're going through a configuration process, you know, to set something up.
Click on BIH.
Yeah. Customer 2 should be customer 2 is our customer tenant, and where the devices should be branch 03, yeah, BJ, the second one BJ branch 03, and also the down there is also Shanghai SH. Yeah, these are 2 have set up with dual links.
Okay.
We're actually trying to test some of the FPC or replication optimization with Zoom, but some issues. But anyway, so let's now just say presume that this is actually exactly as you have set up, just two end-to-end direct mesh link, 2 links, and so if we would have set up this whole configuration with MOS, and what we would need to do like step 1, 2, 3 kind of thing.
So we can go here. Configuration.
Services.
So the first thing we'll do is we'll create an SLA profile. Here, let's say we'll name it MOS. And then we can add some code here. So say 3.25.
But back in the years where we thought like 3.7 is bad enough, or 3.5, 3.25 is that? Why do you pick 3.25? So that's still
just like that. I mean, I mean, there's no reason. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Okay, cool.
Have a forwarding profile. Let's add a new one. Name this MOS.
Just hit enter, that's fine. I think my Chinese cannot.
And select the SLA profile here. And we can reduce this or we can keep it same.
So this is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
With compute timer, is that it's like switching time, just like no, it's not.
Right, it is. I mean, so in general forwarding profile terms, it is the amount of time it will take to switch.
Okay.
But with MOS, it is a bit different because
you want to switch fast, right?
Right.
You did 2 seconds.
Right.
Got
it. So that's why we can keep this at 300, which is still. So the only thing that will.
No, we want it to be 300 because it's really badly. You have to spare that for 5 minutes. That's too much. Yeah, so 2 seconds makes sense.
Yeah. So this one, so there are actually let me.
But low is just 1 second, right? The minimum value is 1 second.
No, minimum is 2.
Minimum is 2. Okay.
Yeah. So we can, let's say we keep this as 10 seconds here, right? And we want to evaluate continuously. Click OK. And then we want to create one policy. And we would like to do application list. Sorry.
Next week, so you cannot find them.
Oh, okay.
You try it? I thought they were there.
Let's put article.
Let's see.
No match.
Why is that?
Let's see.
Doesn't find the license.
Oh, okay. That is still okay. I think that's fine because
I guess.
I
Oh, that's
think it
another
should
question
be
for
okay.
you, Robert. So that
Mm.
for this installation, we haven't applied the type of license or for the because we bought different type of license, right? So then
Who tell you?
if to apply license or to update license, we should be able to do that, right? We don't need to。然后因为咱们虽然说买了，但是说现在 apply license 没有 apply 这个代理
哪个地方说不出来？application
对 application
说什么都说不出来。
application
是 WeChat 这种什么都说不会找人。
like 可以把这个怎么解决的记住。
解决肯定就是后台。
对呀，
我也没办法，他也会后台敲的。
Robert 还是比较直接。
对，
咱们买了一堆，但是就是可能这个部署的时候 apply 这个 instance 没有 apply 那个 advanced license， 所以
Advanced 包括 NT
everything 我报，咱买了这所有的那个就不同类型的多少个，就是一种多少个用多少个，对这个 advanced 都，但是就跟 apply 的是在咱们这个 deployment 时候 apply license。
So if we do not choose the application apply to every traffic.
Right now it will apply to every traffic. Yes.
Okay, got it. Right. That is the will be there. So 里边那什么的话I don't know for sure 是他们直接招吗？咱们可以回头等一会儿他们那个我可以找那个问一下。
So this was one step where you configure the forwarding profile and everything.
Yeah, got it.
And then the other thing would be to
others.
One more thing that we need to do. Yeah. So the other thing will be to enable this real-time flow quality monitoring.
Real time. So the real-time flow quality monitoring. Cool settings.
And this is the default value, which is 2 seconds over here. So this will ensure that every even though you might have a large value of continuous evaluation, this will make sure that it will switch quickly.
Okay, got it. Oh, over there actually, even I leave it at 300 seconds, but here as long as 2 seconds, it will switch. Okay,
it will
got
switch.
it. Got it.
The only difference, so why it is important for that value to come down is because that is the value that we that is the frequency by which we evaluate the paths. So if let's say a new call comes in, right? If a new call comes in for a different and so what every path has a priority.
Sure.
And that priority, and then based on that, based on the metric, each path is then classified into either its own priority bucket or it goes into SLA violation bucket.
Okay. Okay.
So if we keep that a larger
know
value,
the violation as soon as possible.
Exactly.
Right?
So
that
we want to know the violation also quickly.
Right. You know the wrong thing. I can be at the cause of it.
Correct.
The poor link. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Cool. Yeah. Understand. Yeah. Yeah, so it is there. Okay, cool. Let's check that. Reporting rules.
We go to the other one, which for
probably we didn't update the security package. Is this new installation or it's upgrade? So upgrade has new installation.
这个就是我们自己那套这两个。
对，
你说
这套是 upgrade 过来的呢，还是？
正好你说 R2是 upgrade 和 R1 啊，
从 R1过来的吗？
这我不清楚了，这我得问他们。当然，等我他们
过来看一看。
就说就是从就说平常意义上来说哈，如果说这个一个系统这个 apply 多少，因为这个 license 是不是有那什么？这是 system wide 的还是什么？
这就相当于一个，
这是真的一个，
相当于一本书一样。你我在这里面放了一本书，你也去查那本书，其实就是一个 database。对，这 database 没有 popular， 或者说 format 不 match。但是说在什么 level 是 branch level？ Okay,
sorry. Is this a different version? The Shanghai branch?
This is in.
I mean, Shanghai has a different version. I'm not.
Go to the tab, the previous tab. You can see it from the appliances, right?
No, not
there.
Build is gonna lock the configuration.
Go to here. You will see the version. Focus on directory.
That's for director. So he wants to know the branch, right? The director.
RS1.
Yeah,
Let's take a look at the branch.
RS1.
Go to open a new tab.
A new tab.
Copy this.
Yeah, anyone, so they can close out the thing. It doesn't matter. Just close it. No, it didn't get his over. So maybe I need to, I don't know, copy paste works for you, you know. Let me do it.
Okay.
Go to appliances.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Go to monitor. Let's see. Go to monitor.
No, you mean to check the other branch,
check
right?
You want to check branch,
check
right?
No, go to monitor.
Beijing,
You will check the
Beijing branch.
You go to monitor. You click on the Beijing. It will show you.
Yeah, I can select from here.
Yeah.
That's it from there. Yeah, Beijing branch over. Yeah, that's it.
On the system. Click on the system.
Software information. Yeah, there you go. Package ID. It's the same, right?
FAB.
That's the one R2S1.
FAB.
Oh, FAB. FAB says, this is specific packaging.
It's different. Yeah. No, the reason I asked was because when I click the policy here,
Policy, the difference. When you show from the I there, that's the director. That's the director version, right? So
Right. You're looking at the director version.
Can we go back to the device level to look at the exact same way?
You want to the device at the same version,
way.
right?
Yeah, exactly the same way. So the FAD is whatever. So the system information. Yeah. So the device Shanghai. It is exactly the same. Exactly the same. 9838. Yeah.
But why the director is on different version?
What do you mean?
Director is on different version.
But it's but first of all, doesn't mean the same thing in terms of directors, whatever stuff. I don't know what does that mean.
I'm not sure if they have the same package ID.
Package
they should
ID,
have the
right,
same
so.
package ID or not.
But it's exactly the same release. It's the so S1 release, right? Sub release. So R2 S1.
Normally it will compatible.
But
should not.
you're saying that a package, but I still didn't get the what Raul. You think the interface are different between the two branches? The earlier you were looking at the director version. So
yeah.
So that should go okay. So so these two are the same version.
You don't need that switch on the notifications. No, you can go to backend. If this version, the Versa director probably is not matching with the backend.
Oh, we need to configure default profile. Why do we need to configure? We should
Default profile.
Configure default profile.
It
Saying that
should not be. I think that's a bug. We should not be.
for the profile.
It's a UI bug. Either a UI bug or
It's
the
a UI bug.
does not match with the
So
policies.
let me understand this whole process, right? So basically, in terms of the whole process of creating SLA profile, boarding profile policy, we need to repeat this on every branch we're trying to set up this, right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay, so it's independently when you set up, go through the same process like each branch. Okay.
But eventually, you have a template.
Mm.
You have a template which is the same
Right.
for all the branches,
Mhm.
and then you associate those branches with that template.
Yeah.
You're going through the workflow.
Okay.
You don't need to configure one by one.
But exactly. So got it. So right now,
Right now, we are manually doing
we're in
it.
the appliance mode because our what is called is like an appliance context or directory context, and here is called configuration mode, right?
Right.
You know,
We are
mode is
configuring
basically
one by
saying
one.
appliance context
Yeah,
and
we're
configuring
doing that
one
one
by
by
one.
one. But
Right.
normally, we can do it going through the template.
Yeah, definitely.
Once template is
Yeah.
populated.
Yeah, we've been through in the last few days doing templates a lot.
Yeah.
So,
But
so that's why I get
both ways are working. Both
Yeah,
ways
no,
are working.
understand. But of course, it's not synchronizing the back in the template. Right? So
So I think right now what might happen is we might have to create another policy here. That's why I think I got confused.
no, that's a
So
default.
this is default policy.
Except so it's asking to configure default policy, adding rules in here, right? So
But we should be able to add a new policy, right?
just adding rules, I think that's actually what we did in the lab.
Right. But the problem,
that's okay,
so
rules.
see, the problem here is that we have two rules,
Right.
and none of them have any application specific thing, right? So right. So that's why either we have some filter saying that okay, for this rule match this traffic, for that rule match that traffic,
Yeah.
or
Match everything.
have two different profiles and then attach the profile to the SLA profile. Then it becomes segregated.
But this is empty, basically it's an empty rule. So because there's not empty,
Right.
but it's
So
like a
both
rule
of them are
without
empty rules. kind of.
and there was nothing to matching or not.
Correct. So that's why I was trying to see if I can add another policy.
Sure.
Then it will
Yeah.
completely get segregated. But I'm not able to add a policy.
That's all right. So I guess at the end, because we don't have the application license to log into things, right? So
We can do it from backend.
right. So
Can do it
no, okay. So but here we saw the process of doing it, and from these system, but that's okay. So
how about you are showing them to your Versa director
No, this is the live setup.
of theirs.
this is our setup.
How about
So
your setup?
it doesn't have a
I don't
director
have a
setup,
director.
so that's why we're doing our setup. So that's what it is. So, but that's okay. We don't have to do it on our backend so that we don't complicate our environment. Our environment has some issues already. So, but that's okay. We just want to get an idea. So basically, this is pretty much the whole process, right? So once we got it set up, and then basically we should have the kind of effect, you just showed up. Right? That's good. That's good. For now, we're trying to comprehend the idea and the process, and how it's supposed to work, and also some of these commands you showed us, how to look at and verify.
Right.
Yeah, those are very helpful. So that when we go back on our own, we should be able to do this, and
If that's what we call it, rubber.
yeah. I know you're on the do not call list. We're on the do not call list. All right, that's cool. So another quick question. So the Lin phone you use, that's a point-to-point, a peer-to-peer app, right? So yeah, okay, that's good. So,
But the thing is, it does have. I mean, it does. So it does have a PBX server kind of thing in between.
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
so
it has an
I want to know if
asterisk
you
server.
have a PBX. Yeah,
Right.
so
It has an asterisk server.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And
Cool.
both. So when I started Linphone, both of these guys went and registered with the asterisk server, and then.
Oh,
the
you're
call
using
started.
asterisk. Okay,
Yeah.
you're using asterisk the VoIP PBX.
Correct.
PBX. Okay. So this is the client. Can you do peer-to-peer call? Yeah,
I mean, so eventually the thing. So what happens? Yeah, traffic is going peer-to-peer for me.
Right.
But initial the SIP
Yeah,
is
set
going
up,
to
right.
the
Right.
asterisk server.
So So basically, the idea is that Linfo by itself wouldn't work, with two pieces of software.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. 就是你点的点，就这俩不需要 PBX 可以用的。OK， 行，那就这样。All right. So no worries. Cool. So when real customer setup, of course, you register with the PBX, which is normal, and that's fine. Okay. Cool. Anything else?
这个 Linfo 你们就可以做一个
做一个，给我拿一个 demo 啊，我就拿一个 demo， 这挺好。
WordHack， 我A 股上市公司叫做全集，
这个
哪个说
是吧？这都就上市了，好吧？
跟他们很熟，我跟他们亲戚都是很熟。
那你们把这个做了不就行了？
他已经做了。
不是
做的时间，
不，我说
SDN 上面，
我说我就跟他们去 online 绝对的，因为我们现在已经开始找了，我们找几家那个就开始说 UC 的跟，所以没错，我想就因为等会儿 use case 咱们再聊啊 ，use case 你们有没有忘那个 UC use case 给我记好，对 ，so very good， 对，我先把它弄完。So let me think here. Okay. There's one more thing is the locking. Oh, I was just actually trying to look into the Zoom locking. You sure we don't have this? I thought I was using the lab set. Our lab set. I saw the Zoom 就是 Zoom locking， 不是我说我前几天见到过那个 Zoom locking 的是我们实验室，就我们 training lab 边，你看 training lab 边就泡的那 set 里边有。对，我当时在看 Zoom 的那个 locking， 就我们这儿。他说，so 如果这块的话，说像我们 deploy 的时候，因为英语 ，so I'm sorry, actually trying to verify the license. Although it's not a MOS topic, but it's more like the license topic with our application recognition, right? So that is the application recognition is come with is that a tied to the NG firewall package for the
according to
Paul? Okay.
It's not that issue.
Yeah, I got it. So
it's not an issue.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know it's not an issue. So because we also technically
it's a technical issue. It's not a license issue.
Yeah. Technically, we've also bought it, but I just don't know how do I look at the current all the live license we have on our live system?
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing. What the hell do I deploy that? I have no idea. Is that what you're saying? But it's kind of weird to look at it, right? Brian or backend.
Workflow.
Brian or backend, you should be able to look at it, right?
This is the new thing. The workflow.
In the workflow, so you gotta have somewhere to look at what has been applied as far as license, right?
Maybe you can check in administration.
Because I know something's not working for sure, so it's not there, right? So,
license. Bring up license.
Oh, okay, sorry. Eval, there is not exactly. We're still on eval, a license, and there's labs.
You haven't paid yet, right?
Yeah. That's right. You
have.
So I haven't applied the license yet, so that's fine. So we're going in a circle here. It's all Robert's fault. Okay.
So I'll tell you when you charge customers, right? You don't go back. When you charge customers, how do we evaluate how many licenses you have sold?
Okay. Right.
You click on the competitor manager.
Okay. Summary. Okay. Cool.
Summary will tell.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Then that's the one. Trial. Yeah, we're all trial. Yeah. This is all trial. Okay. The standard base.
Normally, you go to query.
Yeah.
Those are just okay. This thing still experimental. Query.
Yeah. Great.
How, when, and why do what, and you delete something, everything is recorded here.
Holy crap.
So.
Okay. All right. Provision.
So how many are?
What is provision of what? What is this? Provision of bandwidth.
Bandwidth. So like I said.
This is why you. This is why you're coming to audit. Is that very audit?
It's a very large number, like 1,000 is 1 gig.
Yeah.
Use 10 meg, 100 meg.
All right. Okay.
So where does those numbers come from? Is when you go to configuration.
When we do workflow, yeah, exactly.
Workflow somewhere.
Okay.
Go back to work.
We got it just in a template, right? When we're configuring things. The template, right? So in the template, yeah. Yeah, the bandwidth. Yeah, the bandwidth is here. The aggregate bandwidth. The bandwidth here, right? Exactly. Yeah. Up here. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah.
这个很重要，这个是钱。
Of course, the Roberts 来 啊，对，来收钱了，坐这儿来跑着看啊，找啥时间？
但这个东西它现在没做好，还在 optimize。但是我最后其实大概数一数，这个东西我都看懂他在做什么。对，可以交流一下怎么样？
你不懂那个，我们觉得一点毛病都没有。这样不要说。
很难有这样。我没有，还要我自己去看他教我看哦，这个还这样看，这个还这样看。
对，是。
给我做个简单一点的，最好上去收多少钱嘛。
对，一上来我们钱都交好，挺好。All right, cool. I think that's what it is. So basically right because 因为就是没有 NG firewall， 所以说现在看不到 application 对吧？是吧？
但是
往里头那什么。
You will have it. I'll ask one guy to help you.
加上就
3,000 application.
不，对这块儿你能有临时方法让那些我们讲，因为现在反正就是都是在做 test 嘛。
Just wait. Let's finish this.
No. So okay, 好。So I think for this part and for the MOS part, and we're in good shape. And so thank you very much for showing us the process there. And
no problem.
What is the roadmap for MOS? Building the roadmap.
So right now what we're trying to do is so this entire thing is completely based for SD-WAN site to site. And so we are currently we don't support anything that is going through DIA, for example. Like somebody is on the internet.
Oh, that's right. That's important. DIA. There's somebody asking that question.
Right. So currently we don't support that. So that is something that is in the roadmap.
You work on that now?
We have started work on that.
Okay. Yeah. So how do you do that?
That's what we're still figuring out. Whether
I like that spirit because this normally require endpoints to be the measure, right? You use 170.31, or you use like a proprietary package. Like
no, so the thing that happens here is that even though like on the internet, like we don't know the IP address, the MOS is always based on the application end to end.
Yeah.
So we will get a score.
True.
We will get a score for that particular codec on that particular link.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that part is kind of like taken care of. But the thing is, whether it makes sense, how much it makes sense, and what use cases it will make sense, that is what we are figuring
out.
Now,
you made some memory came back to me. Let me share with you a case, and that might help you guys. Back then, when we're doing this, I was with Octalucent. So right, so we do UC, we do network, and so what we're doing actually, our DevOps team actually is coming with this kind of our DevOps kind of solution. It's basically plugging into Microsoft Link server. So this is one case. Link server offer API, so you can take through the API with Link. You can take the MOS score.
Okay.
So basically, that's the exact concept you're saying. I think so. No matter what it is, if you have a application with a server with API, then its endpoints, of course, it needs to keep track of some level of the cloud service. So Link does that already. That's not just like a Linphone here. Obviously, everybody I think today probably mostly do that. So in that case, you just API into it. You don't have to do that yourself, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's per session. So back then, what we're doing is actually our own like a SDN controller piece of software is trying to do that, and then basically based on that, we are deciding the network path, basically similar concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
You basically do this by decoding the words and reading. So you can decode the 711 or 729 or something.
So we don't decode the entire traffic. We intercept it to figure out what codec it is, but we don't read into the packet to. Yeah, we don't decode it. Because that will require much more processing and the entire thing will
Let's get into another dimension now.
Yeah,
right.
Right. So you just get it
Check
from the RTP packet. From the header.
So you go as far as knowing the type, right?
Yes.
So that's it. Because these are conventional or like a well-known type, so it does have a QoS profile that's required. So so that's kind of correlated to your
right.
SLA,
because depending upon the codec type, even on the same path with the same parameters, the MOS score might differ.
Yeah.
So if it's not an IDP, so if your traffic is like a private protocol, it has no IDP header. So how can we do this?
Currently, we won't be able to.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the only support we have is for the well-known ones like RTP, RTCP, SRTP, SRTCP.
We need AI. Figure out what it is and figure out the score, whatever score.
We need a privacy agreement before we get into it, though.
All right.
It's
So
quite
the
possible.
decode.
Decoded, you understand it.
Takes a lot
So
of CPU.
one question I had actually for you guys,
Yeah, sure.
since we talked about the DI part. So usually, like in the deployment perspective, I know that there are multiple transport domains.
Yeah.
But for the DI also, are there multiple links, or usually it is just one link for DI and rest is for.
I think for us, the scenario could be flexible because for us, actually, in reality, is either one or two broadband internet link, and that's it for most of the cases. We're not the tier 1 carrier, so we don't own the last mile. So basically, our last mile is basically somebody like China Telecom, China Mobile, China Unicom, or it could be some other one. We could have a 2 or 3, literally technically, but it's all pretty much broadband. So the like I said, DIA really depends on our customer's need, right? So and also the type of link we could configure.
DIA in every update.
Okay.
Okay. Every just to specify the application. Application. If we have anybody that application goes to the DIA, so that means like you to choose whether.
Why do you have this question? Why do you listen to this?
So,
no, because I want to understand from MOS perspective, how the actual deployments are. So, because if, for example, if on the DI, it's always going to be
not on our links.
Right? Yeah, I mean, if it's just going to be one link.
You mean one or two?
Right.
I would say that actually, from product design perspective, for you guys, it's good to consider could be multiple.
Correct.
Because you always wanted to even so it's let's say if it's a MOS and DIA, some voice communication related, you got this link get cut. You gotta naturally have a backup link, so that I think that's naturally you should consider.
And another thing is possibly not DIA immediately from current branch. If you forward it to another branch to do the DIA.
Right. So that anyways we are taking care today, right?
Because if that is the case, between those two nodes we have optimization. But after it goes out, we don't have optimization.
Yeah, right.
And if those two nodes are very good quality, there's no need for the optimization.
But
remember this: the MOS is always end to end.
Right. So your optimization is always end to end, these two sides. Right?
No.
But once it breaks out,
it's just a monitoring.
Oh, right.
It's
not MPC. Sorry.
So it depends on the worst part.
Exactly.
Exactly. But when it goes out, it's more important in this case. When it goes out, it's more important because most of the guys use Zoom or whatever. They don't use it on MQS or whatever broadband or dedicated links. So they usually break it out.
Right. And so even from customer perspective, they are fine. If they have multiple broadband links, they are okay that the call shifts and we try to find the optimal path.
Yeah, I think they don't care.
They don't care.
The real answer is they don't care. That's not their experience not getting interrupted. So if you have coverage fast enough, I don't detect.
But this question probably also makes sense if one link is more expensive than another one. They will keep on using
then basically there's a design aspect from the whole IT organization for enterprises. Exactly, QS policy and all that. So the thing, right? So it's like in the QS what you guys covered. It's like I think that makes sense because just something like internet link or one or two and then an MPS link, and so there's even already different approaches. I put a voice call first on internet when it degrades going to MPS, or sometimes more conservative. I want it to be on MPS, so it's always the best, so that this voice keeps stable. So it depends on cost and also experience and I guess certainty. And I think but from our perspective, I think you offer people it's kind of a choice. That's good because that's your style also anyway, right? To give more choice.
But one question is why do we need to understand the breakout if we cannot optimize? If the breakout is always one link, right? Breakout. With one link, you cannot do anything. Even if you monitor this, you cannot do anything from here.
Right. So
that's
that's
your
why
question.
Right.
So
That's why I
the
was
second
asking. Like,
No, if I only have one link.
No, no.
I was-
It can enable back. If you want it.
If your MOS score is bad, you enable FEC.
no, that does not happen automatically. I mean, because they are two different features. But I mean, we can enable FEC and then take care of that through that.
You can.
No, you can't. You can't because FEC is another forwarding profile or whatever.
Right.
profile.
So that's what
you
I
can
meant.
trigger that.
That's what I meant. So what I'm saying is that if you just enable MOS, that does not automatically enable FEC.
Right.
But you can enable FEC in order to improve it.
Improve them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Once that degraded, I can enable it.
Right.
But the MOS is more judging, right? It's assessing.
Yeah.
And the FEC is actually doing correction or improvement, right? So, okay, cool. So, well,
Any particular algorithm to improve this MOS, except for FEC?
No, so that's what we are currently. I mean, so the thing is, if it's only one link, yes, MOS will not help you at all. Even like just the MOS optimization itself will not help us because that's the only link.
Just monitor.
Right.
Just monitor.
And I think that so but if you have multiple links, then yes, it makes
Basically,
your optimization.
asking the basic question for communications. Is there any other optimization we can do except for FEC?
Mm-hmm.
Right, to improve the quality.
But that's right now you have replication, right? So you got two links replication.
Those are
besides two.
I mean, besides
anything
those
else,
things,
right?
besides all those things.
When you just have one.
If there is only one internet link, we just have FEC to apply. There is no other optimization. I know they are doing the TCP optimization, but I'm not sure whether probably they're getting
But this doesn't help the just voice, right? The voice or video.
it's different.
Yeah, that will
File,
not
that
help.
helps
File
file.
transfer.
File then doesn't help more with mouse.
Right. So just like they're doing for for the SaaS application, they're trying to optimize the DIA.
Yeah.
Similarly, we have started for voice applications on DIA how to.
Who is working on this SaaS optimization?
I think Akshay and Sridhar are working on that.
So what is the approach there, or the angle? What means you guys are just trying to from what perspective you're trying to optimize the SaaS access? So you start DIA for SaaS, right? DIA.
Ask them.
I mean, so the basic premise is that it's the same as doing the SLA monitoring.
Right.
But over there, we are not sending actual packets. We'll be trying to gather the metrics from the flow to get an idea how this particular link for this particular SaaS application is
Response
behaving.
time.
Yeah.
Response time.
Right.
Actually, we have that somewhat covered in the training, but I don't know who covered that, but I think the actual Sunil yesterday in the security session mentioned something about it, and so that. But I was wondering, or maybe it's the analytics.
The SaaS optimization they released it.
No, it's not
Aruba.
released yet.
It's not released.
It's not released. It's so all these things are in the roadmap.
Oh, that should be it.
I mean, he's talking about roadmap.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw something like the average time, and no, it's Ruba, the analytics lady.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when she showed that, actually, there's one that I was looking at it. So SaaS, right? So so average duration of these sessions, how long, a couple of hundreds of milliseconds, and then the network response time. Remember some of these fields here. The network response time is 100 milliseconds. So didn't get a chance to ask what is being done. But that's monitoring. I don't think that's something. That's just monitoring.
Right. So it's just telling you how things are. They're using that information now to.
But I wonder actually that even the monitoring. I was gonna ask you, that just RCMP ping type of thing, or HTTP ping? That's it, or is there anything else in terms of monitoring? And because
once it's released,
yeah, because you have page opening response time, because that comes into the ADC domain, right? So the application delivery, because you care about hey, how this page responds in a time, and because we used to when we were at Brookhaven, we have a product, BADC, or such a steel app we bought from Riverbed. So it does go into very tips about the HTTP response, and then you basically come up with a faster service to respond, those kind of things. And but you know what? Actually, it is a pretty practical topic. Really is. It's that. So what we're looking at, this obviously voice video is a wide important use case, and the other ones is actually just a SaaS level access. No matter it's inside China or something international SaaS, going across our link.
Right now we can manage it. If you know some hub is better, just route the traffic over there.
Yeah,
we're
already doing that. Because we're doing the tiering thing, right? So you try to shorten the path and get the best responses.
It's much better. Easier than this algorithm.